Did you know that there's been continuous Indian presence in Antarctica for over 30 years and that there's traces of Antarctica in India too? Hello and welcome to ThePrint. This is Akanksha Mishra and today we are standing at the National Center for Polar and Ocean Research, which is the nodal agency for Indian research in Antarctica. Even though NCPOR is 25 years old, India's presence in Antarctica predates it. From studying Antarctic climate change to ice melt off, to doing isotope analysis and bacterial analysis of the ice samples from Antarctica, to even studying the Southern Ocean near Antarctica and its climate and carbon dioxide absorption techniques, NCPOR has a varied research interest in the largest continent in the world. There are two permanent stations, Bharti and Maitri, that are established in Antarctica. But every Antarctic summer, there's also regular expeditions where researchers from across India can apply to the NCPOR and get the opportunity to travel to the poles and conduct their research. NCPOR is truly India's gateway to Antarctica and to the poles. NCPOR scientists and scientists globally have been studying Antarctica for years now. There are glaciologists, climate scientists, microbiologists, and even chemists who study different aspects of the continent. And there are a couple of reasons for it.
Antarctica being a land which is the size of more than United States and India together, covered with more than 98% ice as thick as 4 kilometers in places, and Arctic, which is mostly frozen sea water. Both of these actually being the where water is found in frozen form, they are under the first one to respond to any increase in global warming. And also these are the places where actually the global warming is nearly 3 to 4 times higher than the global average. So as a result, actually any of this, like for example, the Antarctica, if the ice on top of Antarctica melt, it can nearly increase the sea level by 60 meters. And Arctic, as the sea ice is depleting both by the global warming as well as the seawater intrusion, Atlantic seawater intrusion. As a result, actually, you can find that Arctic sea ice is also leading to a lot of climate changes globally, especially extreme climate weather.
But we still do not know enough about the continent.
Oh, the thing with Antarctica is that it's so huge. Okay, it holds around 90% of all ice on the planet, right? So what we know right now, it is the biggest contributor to uncertainty in all of our sea level rise estimates for the future, right? Not just by a small, but like a very big margin. So around 50% of all the uncertainties for the future models come from Antarctica. So the uncertainty is there because we don't know enough. We don't know enough about its present, and we definitely don't know enough about its past. And understanding the past is really important to understand the processes which control. So when we know how Antarctica has behaved under certain climate conditions in the past, based on that, we can sort of get an idea of how it will behave in the future climate scenarios.
One of the ways in which Antarctic history is studied is through its ice. Researchers go to parts of Antarctica to drill ice deep underground, representing layers of snowfall that has accumulated over the years. Ice, being frozen, stores with it air bubbles, chemicals, and even microbes for years and years to be unlocked and studied by scientists. I'm standing in front of the Ice Core Laboratory, where NCPOR scientists have stored little pieces of Antarctica. That's right. Inside there are drilled ice cores from Antarctica that are brought back to Goa and kept in the NCPOR lab to be studied and analyzed. These ice cores are an insight into the history of Antarctica through its ice and also a history of the world through Antarctica's ice. So, pieces of 150 meters depth of ice from Antarctica can tell us about the history going back to 200 or more years. However, to store this ice and to study it, the Antarctic researchers need to simulate temperatures of that continent which is why in minus 15 and minus 20 degrees Celsius, the Antarctic researchers from NCPOR gear up here in Goa, go in and do their analysis of the ice.
So once we carry out the processing in minus 15 degree lab, we bring it out, we carry out different types of analysis. We have a class 100 clean room where we have a Dynex ion chromatography system where we measure cations and anions. So since ice is the very purest form of water available on Earth, we need to have a proper working condition. Like a class 100 clean room means it's less than 100 particles per square meter. So you need to have that much cleanliness and purity level to open up the sample to the atmosphere.
It isn't just chemistry and isotope studies though. NCPOR also has biologists who look at Antarctic ice.
So the work that we carry out is mainly understanding the microbes that live in surface environments of Antarctica. How we do it is we go take as much sample as possible, and then we grow the microbes. Then we test how they are able to behave, like in the lab experiments, as well as we take out the entire DNA and. In future, maybe probably all the type of genetic materials available.
Another interesting aspect of Antarctic research is that it is highly cooperative. Antarctica is a place where over 30 countries have over 70 research stations. And more often than not, their research does overlap and they do help each other.
Polar regions, especially Antarctic and Arctic, both of them are actually so uniquely challenging because they are so remote. So collaboration is the key. And if you look at Antarctica, Antarctic is the only place which is not part of the global United Nations systems. It is governed by Antarctic Treaty System, which came into existence in 1959, and it's on December 1st. And it is also one place which is meant for only scientific research and peaceful purposes. So as a result, actually, all activities in Antarctica is highly collaborative in nature. Because without collaboration, no activities can be carried out because of this extremely challenging, weather, extremely challenging other conditions.
NCPOR scientists are currently working on multiple ongoing projects, which include studies to find a geological connection between Antarctica and the Eastern Ghats in India. Millions of years ago, when all the continents of the world were part of one large landmass, Gondwana, it is believed that East Antarctica and the Eastern Ghats were neighbors. There are also exciting projects on the ice core studies front by NCPOR.
Also, we have recently identified a new ice coring site close to Maitri. So this ice coring site is approachable from Maitri, and we estimate that we can go as far as 20,000 years in the past at this site at a good resolution, right? So this will give us a very good climate history of the Antarctic coast and the Southern Ocean.
Polar research is key to understanding climate change. NCPOR is driving how India sees, studies, and analyzes the contributors to climate change both globally and locally. Their work is truly a window into both the history and the future of our world and its climate. This is Akanksha Mishra reporting for ThePrint.